think. Okay, we're live. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I've got to get Facebook up and going. I can't figure out how to take the picture to do the thumbnail. So I hope y'all can find this. Okay. I hope I did that right too. Hold on. No. Okay, sorry. Hi, thumbs up. Thumbs up right back. Okay, I'm gonna get us going on Facebook too. And then we'll have to wait a couple of minutes. What am I doing? Okay, post. So I am creating a post. Unexpected place. Nope. Place. We find our light. Oh, I should have capitalized the L. Oops. So we're gonna go live on video. Sorry, reaching above you. I think I figured out a way to make it so that I can at least have y'all be in the same vicinity you in Facebook. So hold on. Nope. Ah, you're crooked. Okay, that's right. Okay, now we're going live on Facebook. Think. Yep, live on Facebook too. And since look at that. Since I just started it a few minutes ago, we'll just take a minute before we get started to give people a chance on Facebook to join us. I know right now the majority of people are joining us on Facebook because I have not adequately promoted the YouTube channel, but I shall do that. I shall do that at some point, hopefully soon. Oh, good morning. Uh-oh, that means their comments are enabled. Yikes. I'm glad to say good morning to you, Dan, but I'm also very scared because trollers like to come and say things, but we'll just trust it'll all be fine. But I believe I have the opportunity to stop them. But I guess we will cross that bridge when we get there. So good morning, Dan. Glad to see you. And we're waiting on Facebook. We're waiting. I've found so far that the majority of people that watch are watching later, which I don't blame them. It's Sunday morning. It's pretty. There's a Packers game on. I know you don't care about that, Dan, but others do. So we'll wait. Okay, I do have one person over here. I just want to give it a couple minutes. We'll give it till 11:05 to get started. I wonder what I did wrong with those comments. Oh, hi, Heart. Hi, Susan. Oh, hi, Carmen. Welcome. Jeez, Dan. Goodness gracious. Dan's on YouTube making funny comments because I apparently did the wrong thing and made it so you can. Heart back, Carmen, heart back. So, while we're getting settled in, right? Everybody's coming. I saw Carmen and Susan are both coming on the 27th at 7. Or by coming, I mean, walking to wherever it is you keep your computer/phone. And we'll have our virtual book group. I hope you guys are liking the book as much as I am. Dan said he'll stop. Okay, I'm going to hold you to it. Dan, you be on the lookout. So if anybody crashes our party, okay, you crash them back. I don't know. So we're giving it a few minutes. 11:03. 11:03. It's my intention to do, these Sunday mornings to do, 20-ish minutes, just enough to uplift us a little bit, something we can take with us and work with through the week. And then the connection part, the community connection part is another piece. That frankly, I'm going to see how much or little of you guys want. Things are changing and people are just not, I think it's because people are getting disenchanted with organized religion. And, the numbers bear that out because so many of them are closing, so rapidly. And so I don't think it's because people don't want spiritual connection and don't want a community. I think they are not impressed, do not want the form of organized religion. They don't want that umbrella. And for those that do, there are places you can go. And for those that don't, you can come here and we'll figure out together what it means to create a community, right? Okay. So it is officially 11:05 and we will begin. Let's just begin with an intention. And for those of you, and I'll just say for the benefit of those of you who are watching live, I have noticed that many, many more views happen later. So I just want to make sure that I'm addressing everyone. So even if you're not here live, I'm talking to you. You are in this space, this energetic space, because we're one with each other. We can't be separate. And so I just want to tell us that whether you are comfortable with prayer, with the term prayer, or you prefer intention, they're both the same. They're one and the same. So I think that's Jerry. Hi, Jerry. So we can take this moment and you may call it whatever you want. It's intention, it's prayer. To me, it is connection with our essence. It is taking what the Course in Miracles calls the holy instant. And that instant is allowing love to inform all of our thoughts. And in this way, we are able to reach depths of wisdom within ourselves that in our waking life, sometimes we miss because we're not always mindful. So in this moment, let's just take a moment to have an intention, have a prayer. So I invite you to close your eyes or relax your gaze. I love to put my hand on my heart now. And we just pause. We breathe. We are taking a moment to allow in or to allow up that wisdom, that light that is within us, the place where we and God, we and the universe meet. In taking this moment to pause, we are allowing love to inform everything we think and say and do. Love's will be done. Okay. Excuse me, just a second. So, last week, well, not this past Friday, but the Friday before, on the podcast, on my podcast, True and Unpolished, we had a guest, Carrie Graves, come in and talk, and she talked about a concept that I haven't revisited in a while, and it is a powerful one. and it's based on Jungian psychology, but it is this the notion that we all have a shadow, a shadow aspect of ourselves. And in brief, what that means is very early on, traits that we had, hi, Carol, traits that we had that were unacceptable to our family or unacceptable to the world outside, we learned to stuff them down and to keep them down. And what happens, we spend that first part of our life gathering all of those things. I'm going to read to you what a poet says about it. It's so beautiful. And I marked it because I'm so smart. Okay. Poet and author Robert Bly describes the shadow as an invisible bag that each of us carries around our backs. As we're growing up, we put in the bag every aspect of ourselves that is not acceptable to our families and friends. Bly believes we spend the first few decades of our lives filling up our bags and spend the rest of our lives trying to retrieve everything we put in our bag in an effort to lighten our burdens. And that is why I titled this The Unexpected Place That We Find Our Light. It is because we find it in these shadow aspects of ourselves. I'm going to read you a little part of this book and then we'll talk on the other side. This book, oh, so good. So good. The Dark Side of the Light Chasers. Thank you, Carrie Graves. She is on the podcast. Last week, she referenced this book and I bought it as soon as we finished recording. So it is awesome. So I'm going to give you this example. It's a great way to outline it. As soon as I figure out where I'm supposed to start. Oh my goodness. No, sorry, everybody. It's coming. Wait for it. Wait for it. It's going to be worth it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Okay. And you guys are going to be able to relate to this because all of us have read all kinds of books. We've gone to the seminars. Maybe we visited the ashrams even. But listen to this. It seems unbelievable. This is Debbie talking. It seems unbelievable that for 11 years, someone could go to group therapy, codependency treatment, and 12-step meetings, visit hypnotists, acupuncturists, experience rebirth, jump off mountains, attend transformational seminars, Buddhist retreats and Sufi retreats, read hundreds of books, listen to visualizations and meditation tapes, and still hate part of who she is. All that time, all that money, and I knew my work was still not done. Then finally, something clicked. I was at a leadership intensive seminar led by a woman named Jan Smith. In the middle of the seminar, I was standing up in front of the group speaking when suddenly Jan looked at me and said, "You're a bitch." I should have warned you that there was going to be cursing, but not a lot. That's it. My heart sank. How did she know? I knew I was a B word. I had been trying desperately to get rid of this part of myself. I had worked hard to be sweet and generous to compensate for this awful trait. Then, dispassionately, Jan asked me why I hated this part of myself so much. Feeling small, stupid, and ashamed, I told her it was the part of me that caused me the most shame. I said that being a B word had only brought myself and others pain. Then Jan said, "What you don't own owns you." Take a minute. What you don't own owns you. So those aspects of us that we don't want to own them. We don't want them to be true. So we don't want to own them. They will own us by taking over and causing all manner of havoc. Okay. I could see how being a B owned me. I worried about it all the time, but I still didn't want to own it. What is good about being a B word? She asked. As far as I could see, there was nothing good about it. But then she said, if you were building a house and the contractors were running over budget and were 3 weeks late, do you think it would help to be a little bitchy? Of course, I said yes. When you need to return merchandise in your business, does it help to be a B word at times? Of course, I said yes. Jan asked me if I could see now that being a B word at certain times was not only useful, but a great quality to possess if you wanted to get things done in the world. Suddenly, this part of myself, which I tried desperately to hide, deny, and suppress, was set free. My whole body felt different. It was as if I had just dropped 100-pound weight from around my neck. Jan had taken this aspect of myself and showed me that it was a gift, that it was not something to feel ashamed about. If I allowed it to exist, I wouldn't have to act it out. I would be able to use it instead of it using me. I would be able to use it instead of it using me. After that day, my life was never the same. Another piece of the healing puzzle had fallen into place. What you resist persists. I had heard so many times, but I never fully understood the depth of that statement. By resisting the B word in myself, I had kept it locked into place. What you the minute I accepted it and saw it as a gift, I relaxed my resistance and it became a non-issue for me. It became a natural, healthy part of who I was. Now I don't ever have to be a B word, but if it is appropriate, which in this world it sometimes is, I can use that quality to take care of myself. This process seemed miraculous to me. So I made a list of all the parts of myself I didn't like and worked on finding the gifts in them. As soon as I was able to see the positive and the negative value of each aspect of myself, I think that's important. She wasn't listing these things only looking for the positive aspect. She was looking for both, acknowledging that it was both and. There were good parts of having that aspect. Good to have that aspect. Okay. Um, So I made a list of all the parts of myself I didn't like and worked on finding the gifts in them. As soon as I was able to see the positive and the negative value of each aspect of myself, I was able to drop my defensiveness and allow these parts to exist freely. It became clear the process was not about getting rid of things we dislike in ourselves, but about finding the positive side of these aspects and integrating them into our lives. And this is the last quote I'll give you, and then we'll talk. This is Carl Jung. Many of us have spent too much time chasing the light, only to find more darkness. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Can you feel that? That's what happens. We have these parts of ourselves that we don't want to own. And there is a really good way to figure out what some of them are. They are the things that in another person create a big emotional response within you. You hear that? So if I think, if I have a strong reaction to someone who is rude, what that means, how I can really do this work of integration so that I truly can be my Christ self is by saying, where am I rude? Where is that in me? Because it is. I wouldn't have had a strong reaction if it weren't in there. And it makes sense that we have all things in us because we're all one. right? But by acknowledging them, and we can't change what we do not acknowledge. So as long as we are stuffing those things that we don't want to be down, they are going to actually be the ones that are making our decisions, that are walking us through our days. And then we're going to be surprised when things blow up and go, oh my gosh, what was happening? So here's one of the things that I realized, and I just told my husband this yesterday, and I don't know how happy he is about this. But I realized that as a child, I was very assertive. I was very assertive. Um, I didn't let people get away with stuff. I was I was real quick to advocate for myself or another person and stand up for myself. I was also real quick to lose my temper. I had a temper because that was the knob turned up too high. It was a strength that I was assertive and would advocate for myself and for other people. But the knob turned too high was a temper, right? So I have to own that I have a temper. And I actually did. I did own it. And that's why it hasn't run the show. But I overcorrected. I turned the knob down too low. And because as a female in our culture, it wasn't okay for me to be assertive. It wasn't okay for me to have a temper. It wasn't ladylike. So I stuffed it down and I tried to be good and I tried to be good. And the more I tried to be good and tried to be good, guess what happened? The more I lost my temper, lost my temper, lost my temper. Right? But if I can acknowledge, Lydia, you've got a temper, yes, I see it. I see you. And I'm not going to try to fix you. I'm not going to shame you. I'm not going to tell you you're not okay. I'm going to acknowledge that you live within me. And I am going to, and just by bringing it to the light, just by, oh, yes, this is in me. So every time someone has a temper and I have a strong reaction to it, if I will go, yep, where is it in me? Yep, there it is. Eventually, I won't have strong reactions to people's tempers. And that's when I can know that I've integrated. This is important. We read books. You listen to me. I listen to other people. We're trying, here, I got 2 books right here. I'm reading simultaneously, everybody. Chasing the light, right? Chasing light, chasing light. The light's in here, but we can't live it. We can't be it without being willing to go in that darkness. And that is what Joseph Campbell means, where he says that deep, dark cave you're afraid to enter. That's where your treasure is. Do you love it? Okay, so I'm going to say one more time that this is the book. It is Debbie Ford, who has passed on to another form of existence. It is The Dark Side of the Light Chasers. And in this book, she gives exercises to help you do it. And her story of really integrating the shadow, that's another word of saying, another way that people talk about this, it's shadow work. And in our podcast, we called it Me and My Shadow. And there's some great examples of it there. Mary, Carrie, Anna all shared great examples. So what I have decided is that I need to bring back some of that assertiveness without realizing it. By being given the title of spiritual leader, I decided that there was no room for that aspect of myself, that there wasn't room there. And that's nobody's fault but my own. I had to, unconsciously realize that there's an image, not an image, but there is, and I wanted to fully embody being a spiritual leader. And So I dropped a whole bunch of stuff about me. And one of the things was my assertiveness. And it would come out sometimes in board meetings. And when it did, there were reactions to it. They didn't like it. They didn't like it. And so I learned to stop doing it. Don't do it. Your assertiveness has no place here, you know. But they didn't tell me don't do it. I perceived their reaction to be don't do it. So I'm bringing some of my sassy back, is what I'm trying to say. And as I said, I am not sure my husband's super thrilled about it. I tease. He's good with it. He's good with it. So, and that's a good thing to point out, everybody. We have roles in life, right? Roles of mom, roles of roles of spouse, roles of children. You know, I'm somebody's child. I work in this field. I'm a doctor. I'm retired. I'm whatever. Inherent in those roles is that they're defined. There's a definition for what that means. And I know it because I'm like, I watch myself sometimes being in this role of mom and think, whoa, this is crazy, you know? So be aware that the roles that we play in life can make us keep stuff down instead of bringing it up to the light. It's a good awareness to have. So my intention is for me and my shadow to make friends, for me to allow my shadow to exist. And as we do that, we give other people permission to do the same. And it is transformational because we are all one. And my work and your work affects the whole. We have an effect on the whole. And we can't have an effect on the whole and try to create change by looking out and saying what everybody else is doing, noticing their shadow, because we can notice everybody else's shadow super easy to tell somebody else's shadow. Yep, I can pick them out all the time. It is not easy to see our own because they are hidden. The nature of the word shadow, the nature of the shadow is that it is hidden from us. It's a shadow because we can't see it. And that's why it is wonderful to have people in your life who will lovingly help you to see yours. You know, that's what Mary does for me. That is what my husband and I are now doing for each other. Like we need that, you know, because we want our light. Our light contains our joy and our peace. And then we can be of assistance, real assistance. Okay, folks, that's all for this week. I should mention again that I don't have a job. Oh, I forgot to put it in the comments. Hold on. And everybody's like, oh, peace out. I got to go now because I'm talking about money. I'm putting in the comments right now on Facebook, and it's already there on YouTube. If you are inspired or felt inspiration here and would like to show that via sharing abundance with me, I would be very grateful. It feels uncomfortable for me to talk about money because I used to do this on a platform in which I was paid by a spiritual community to do it. And now, so it feels like what I once did for free, I'm now like, please pay me. But it is what it is, and I deserve abundance, and so do you. So if you feel inspired, there's always to give there on YouTube, PayPal, Patreon, Venmo. I made it easy as possible, and checks. So, okay. Thank you, everybody. 27th, everybody. 27th, 7 p.m. If you want to come, either register on Facebook or DM me, and I will get you registered. I'm going to send the link the week of because it's a Wednesday. but I can't wait to have the conversation with everybody. So 27th, 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. I did it at that time because I wanted everybody to have a chance to eat. And this is our first step in figuring out how it is that we can create, community interaction. And it's my intention for us all to talk about it and to see how little or how much, community connection you're looking for. Okay. So I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. See you later. I'm going to finish Facebook first, and then I'll say goodbye to Mr. Dan because I think you're the only one here live. Hi. Love ya. Okay. Posting now. Now I'm going to go let my kids out of the basement. See you later.